Hi everyone, this is a video to show you how GCSE Classroom works and how you can use it for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of your GCSE science pupils. GCSE Classroom is all about exam questions, self-assessment and feedback, and the whole platform is designed to try to help improve exam technique and therefore improve exam performance. I'm going to start by logging in as a pupil. So I've come to the platform here, gcseclassroom.com, and I'm going to log in as a pupil. So I'm going to log in as my pupil, Marcus Rashford. I'm just going to put in my password and I'm going to click log in. And I'm going to be redirected straight to my dashboard. So here I'm going to see any courses that I'm signed up to, so any courses that my teachers have signed me up to. So all of these courses here I'm assigned to, and I can just click on these courses to enter them and start to work through the exam questions and content. So I'm going to go to the AQA Biology Foundation tier. So if you've got pupils who are foundation tier, they would only see that course. If you've got pupils who are higher tier, they're only going to see that course. So pupils shouldn't get confused about the content that they need to access. But I'm going to go into Biology Foundation tier at the moment. We've now got all of our topics for for paper 1, and then all of our topics also for paper 2. And I'm going to expand here, and now I can see all the different sets of questions which come under this topic, cell biology, and I can do the same, for example, for each and every topic. So my first set of questions here is on cell structure. So I'm going to click there to enter, and I'll see a range of exam questions now which will contain different amounts of marks. So we can see we've got a 2 marker, a 1 marker, another 2 marker, and then down at the bottom there is a 5 marker as well. So this particular unit, for example, is 6 questions. And there's usually between about 5 and 10 questions depending on the topic. I think what's most likely for schools is that you would obviously teach this topic in class, and then you might, at the end of the unit, ask pupils to complete the set of exam questions. And that might be a homework task, or it could be something that you do in school if devices are available. So how it works, these questions are completely unique. So they're not taken or copied from past papers or mock papers or anything like that. They're completely unique, but they are professionally written. So we've worked closely with the past papers to make sure we're using the same key terms and that they are professional, and pupils are getting used to how these questions are going to come across in their exam. Pupils must answer each and every question before being able to submit their answers. So they must put an answer into the box here. So they're going to write their answer here. The answer can be as long as they want. If it's a particular long answer, they can drag out this box. If they wanted to plan their answer first, they might put a plan on the top and then write in their answer if you've asked them to do that, perhaps. But they must put an answer into each section here. If there's a calculator symbol, such as this one, it's just reminding pupils that they can and probably should be using a calculator to help them. So they must put an answer into each question, and then they can press submit answers down at the bottom over here. After they've submitted their answers, they can now watch a video which runs through the mark scheme for each and every question. So we've got a video here for the first question, for example, and I will just play a little bit of this video so you're getting an idea of how it looks and how it might sound.
So the first question for cell structure is, there are 2 types of cells, eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Give 2 differences between these 2 types of cells. So looking at the mark scheme, you can have any 2 points to get you those 2 marks. The first and the biggest difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells is that eukaryotic cells are far larger than prokaryotic cells. That's because a eukaryotic cell is pretty much any cell that you can find inside yourself and any other animal.
So I'm going to pause it there because I just wanted to give you an idea of how that looks. So it's an image of the mark scheme and it's a voiceover talking through exactly how you get to those marks. So for this 2-mark question, it's a relatively short video. It's just about a minute long, for example. And then for the 5-mark question, for example, down here, if we take a look at that, it's going to be a little bit longer because there's a bit more to talk about in terms of getting to those answers. But there's a video for every single question, and what pupils can do, so they've got their instant feedback here regarding their answer, and now they're able to self-assess their own work. So they can give themselves some marks if they think they deserve it. And they can also write a comment in here. So it might be if they've got the question wrong, but you ask them to always put the correct answer into the comment, or they might go into detail about why they got it wrong and what they should have included instead. Do they need to use a better example? Did they read the question properly, for example? But they're giving themselves a little bit of feedback there. Again, they can do that for every single question. So they might mark it. They might also write a comment in here. And then they can save that self-assessment down at the bottom. So they can click Save Self-Assessment here. What pupils can do is reset their answers as many times as they want to. So all they need to do is click Reset here, and then the mark scheme and the videos will disappear. Although that is saved, but it will disappear for now, and they'll then be able to have another go at the question. So particularly if they've got a mock exam coming up, they might like to have several goes until they're sure that they've got these questions right and they understand the topic inside out. So that will be the same format for every single set of questions for underneath each topic. Cell biology is a sample unit over here, so you'll be able to have a look at all the sets of questions and put in some sample answers and take a look at all the videos in your own time. But I want to show you how a teacher assesses, marks and monitors what's going on with their pupils. So I'm going to come to the teacher view now. So I'm logged in as a teacher here, and when a teacher logs in, they also get redirected straight to their dashboard. And if you've got more than one class, you'll be able to flick between your classes here. And on this first page of the dashboard, it just shows the courses which this class take. And it shows all the pupils, so you can check that all your pupils are assigned to the class. You can edit a pupil, you can change their password or their name, for example, if they've put the name in wrong. Or if they need a new password. And you can also remove them from the class if they move to another class or they leave the school, for example. Down the bottom, you'll also see all of the teachers who teach that class as well. Now, the most important part of the dashboard is your mark book over here. And again, you can select your group and select the course which you're concerned with. So we're going to go to this AQA Biology Foundation tier once again. And we can now see all of the sets of questions underneath each unit. And I can expand to see all of my pupils. So it might be that I've asked my pupils to have a go at this set of exam questions, cell structure. And I can see exactly who's done that and who hasn't done that. It's a color-coded system here, so I can see some green flags and some orange flags. There's also a time where I may see a blue flag. So if I see a blue flag, it's because a pupil has had a go at the set of questions, but they've not completed the self-assessment. An orange flag means that the self-assessment has been completed. And the green flag means that you as a teacher have actually decided to mark the work yourself. So I can see that I've got some oranges and some greens. And I've even got some pupils who've had a second attempt. So you as a teacher will see the first 3 attempts and you'll see scores for the first 3 attempts that a pupil has. If we look at the pupil I was just under, so I was logged in as Marcus Rashford, and I've given myself a 4 out of 14 over here. Now, as a teacher, I want to now have a look at this pupil's answers, and all I need to do is click on this 4 out of 14, and it will open up in a new tab, and I can now see the video mark scheme. I can see my pupil's answer here, and I can also take a look at their self-assessment. So I can see they've given themselves a 2 out of 2, and they've left a comment here as well. So I can check they're doing that appropriately. Now, if I wish to, I can also mark the work. So I can put in a mark here. So I'm going to agree that they should be getting 2. I'm going to write a comment here, and I can also leave some audio feedback if I wish. So I can click the audio button. All I need to do is press record. I can leave an audio message for my pupil, click stop, save, and that's going to save so they can access this in their dashboard, which I'll show you shortly. I can do that for every single question. So it might be that I just want to mark it. I might not want to leave lots of comments, but I can do if I wish. So I'm going to mark each question. And then what I can also do is leave some final feedback. So this will automatically update. So I can now see the pupil's been given a 10 out of 14 from me. I can leave a final comment down here. And I can also leave a final audio message, perhaps on their overall performance and what they need to work on as well. So I can record that, stop again when I'm ready, save. That will save for the pupil. And I then just need to click this save feedback down at the bottom. So I just click save feedback, and that's been updated. And I'm going to go back to my dashboard now, and I'm going to refresh the page. So this is the teacher dashboard once again. I've refreshed that page, and we should now see that that has updated. So that's turned to a green flag, and it's now been given the teacher mark. So the green will overrule the orange. So if you've decided to mark the work, your mark will overrule the pupil self-assessment. As a pupil then, so I'm going to go back to my pupil over here. I'm going to go back to their dashboard, and I'm going to go back. I'm back to their dashboard here. I can see their courses, and the only other part of the pupil dashboard is their My Exams area here. So they just click My Exams, and they go to select course, and we were on Biology Foundation tier. And a pupil can now see what's been going on, and they can track their own progress. So this pupil can see a green flag. That's because they know then that the teacher has marked the work, and they need to go and check for feedback. So a pupil can click this 10 out of 14, just like you did. It will open up in a new tab, and now they can take a look at the feedback that's been given. So I've got text feedback over here, which is the one I left earlier, and they can also listen to this audio message, and again they can do that and see where their marks have been awarded. And down at the bottom they will also see the final comment, the final audio message, and their marks here, the 10 out of 14 as well. So all a pupil needs to do is be checking for those green flags. Most importantly, as soon as they see a green, then they know that they need to go in there and check what feedback has been left for them. The hope is, of course, that a pupil may end up having a second attempt and a third attempt later in the year, and hopefully they're going perhaps from, for example, a 7 out of 14 to a 9 and then a 12, so they can see that progress for themselves through the practice that they're having with these exam questions. We fully expect schools to use the platform. We know that schools do use the platform in very different ways. So I'm back on the teacher dashboard here. Some schools will use GCSE Classroom as a self-assessment tool. So they won't be marking work themselves, but they'll just go in to monitor marks and make sure pupils are leaving comments and marking their work appropriately. Other schools and other teachers, if a marking policy differs, will go in and mark every piece of work and leave lots of feedback as well, and they'll see it as a real chance to leave some teacher feedback and have evidence of that as well. In terms of getting set up with classes, it is very simple. So we help you to create the classes in the first place. So we create the classes and we'll create the teacher logins for you. But in terms of your pupils getting their logins and creating their logins, there's a couple of different methods. First of all, what you're able to do, you just need to go to your dashboard and go to the class, and then you can add a pupil to this class by going to add new pupil, and you can just put yourself first name, last name, email address, and make a password with them and share that password with the pupil. The password will also be emailed to pupils, but we do recommend you also share it with them in case the email is lost in any way. However, there's also an easier method to create pupil logins. So all you need to do is click this green button down here within your dashboard, and that copies a link. So it copies a web link which you can share with your pupils. So you can send it out in an email, or if you use Google Classroom or Teams, for example, you just need to get that link to your pupils, and your pupils then would go to that link. So I'm going to log out of my pupil here. So I'm now logged out. So you've shared this link with your pupils. They've just clicked it, and all they need to do is sign up here. So they just need to put their first name, last name, school email address, and come up with a password. When they then press submit, they will have their login for the site. They'll be redirected to their pupil dashboard, and they will automatically become part of the correct class. So they'll become part of your class here, and you will see them within this list. So the way schools will often do this, some will set it as a homework and say, we want you to create your login. That's your first task on GCSE Classroom. Or you could get your pupils at the end of a lesson, for example, to get a device out, whether it's a phone or you've got other devices available, and just get everybody signed up there and then so that you can check they're all part of the class. So it should really be a 5-minute job, and your pupils have all created their logins. So that's all I wanted to share right now. I really hope all of that information was really useful. And if you've got any questions at all about GCSE Classroom or any feedback, then please do get in touch.